From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Monday's edition of For the People for a July the 3rd, 2017. We have a survey that simply says the Democrats are significantly divided and out of touch. Well, I could have told you that. You didn't need any particular survey. You just actually have to listen to For the People on a daily basis to hear how out of touch they really are. Not that the election had anything to do with it or any of the runoffs, the special elections around the country to tell them that they're out of touch with America. And you know, it's kind of interesting how some of the left will basically say it's the weirdos that live in over country, that live out there in the country, the Midwest. You folks, you're the weirdos. You're the ones that voted for Donald Trump. Forget about anybody that lives in metropolitan cities or other places. And it's always the weirdos that live perhaps on 100 acres, might be farming or something like that. These people that maybe have a shotgun. Are you one of those? Do you have an NRA card? Those people. One of those people. Yeah, Trump supporters. Are you a Trump supporter? Listen, there's been Trump rallies in the last several days all over the country, showing their support for this president, especially this 4th of July weekend. And I tell you, there's nothing more patriotic than celebrating your president. And when Barack Obama was in the White House, I wasn't a huge fan of his policies, but I tell you, I paid attention to what he said, and I didn't disrespect the office of the president. I realized that he was going to be our president, and I came to terms very quickly with it, and I wished him the best, and I prayed for Barack. Just as I pray for Donald Trump or any other president that was in the White House, that's something that we're supposed to do. Whether you're a Christian or not, you should hope and wish the best because he's making deals each and every day for the American people. That's what the president does, for better or for worse. I guess everything is open for debate. And obviously, that's where our country gets divided on a lot of these particular things. But forget about anything that's right. We're just not going to get any credit for it. I mean, that's just fair and square. But this new survey was released in June that I'm talking about here about the Democratic Party and about how off the reservation that they are. And it was in June that they had done this, yes. And after a string of election losses and many Democratic Party voters are fed up with their party's leadership. Basically, that's what they're saying, according to a survey released Monday by Rasmussen. Rasmussen put this out. Just 31% of likely voters in the Democratic Party believe the current national leadership of their party is representative of most Democrats. 31%. 58% of those surveyed said the party needs new leaders. Who's the leader? A lot of people say that Barack Hussein Obama is the leader of the DNC. Where is he? Where is he today? Did you know? Barack Obama, South Korea. Well, the South Korean president just met with Donald Trump at the White House, and now we get former President Barack Obama over at South Korea trying to negotiate some stuff. I have no idea what the meetings are, what he's doing. Just a very interesting meeting. I'm sure. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see what's going on here. I have no idea what he's doing. I would be annoyed if I was Donald Trump for him meddling in discussions that they've already had. He's not the president any longer. And just FYI, your former president, Barack Obama, and you can't do anything other than sit there and think that you're going to be able to seed something. Maybe he should have gone in there with Dennis Rodman. Maybe that would have been more effective. Barack and Dennis. That would have been great. So back to the issue at hand here with the survey that I wanted to just bring up here. Basically, there's a leadership issue. Nobody really knows who. Old leadership, old energy, old blood. A lot of them are calling for the head of Nancy Pelosi. They don't want her in there. They're hurting her, just like Hillary Clinton hurt the Dems right now. They don't really have any strategy. Seemingly no strategy whatsoever. Now, although polls are showing that the Democratic Party isn't moving in the right direction, Republicans shouldn't celebrate too much. According to Rasmussen, says the Republican Party scored better than the Democrats on many issues, but just 1 week ago, only 37% of voters said the country is headed in the right direction. And Trump's approval ratings continue to remain below 50%. According to Rasmussen, their latest approval ratings poll released Friday showed Trump has the approval of 46%. 46% of Americans, according to Rasmussen. Well, okay. We'll take it. That's okay. Ronald Reagan didn't have the highest numbers. A lot of Republicans didn't have, or Democrats, in our past history. Because do you think that the president should be worrying about poll numbers and popularity? Barack Obama was all about the polls. He was all about wanting to be liked by other people, and just like a lot of other politicians, because they could be bought and they were political hacks. They could be purchased, they were bought, and everybody knows that Barack Obama was a puppet. He was being used. People brag and they sit there. They're all braggadocious about Barack Obama's past, about being some kind of great hero in Chicago. A law professor. Oh, he's an amazing lawyer. He's a terrible senator. He's missing in action. Of over 90% of the votes, he wasn't even there, missing in action. They have no idea where he was. A lot of people said they found him in tranny bars on places in Chicago doing stuff. God knows. But it is an interesting survey. To me, it just further solidifies, for me, that is, showing the disorganization, those within the party itself, the Democrats, they don't have direction. They don't have a vision. And what they are doing right now is just salivating pretty much out of the mouth through mouthpieces such as ABC and CNN and anybody else who will do this, to sit there and just beat up on the president rather than trying to be a solution, because they don't have any. You don't notice any of them that are really recommending anything other than Chuck Schumer, which very rarely does he say anything about. But now he's interested all of a sudden about health care. And I don't know if you listened to the broadcast, but I said, the Democrats actually could come out the heroes. They really could. Maybe Barack Obama, maybe he's trying. Maybe he really wants peace and stability in the region. He doesn't want to have some kind of showdown with North Korea. And maybe they can put something together that would work for everybody in the peninsula. That would be terrific. But the Dems could partner with the Republicans on making something happen. Chuck Schumer, you didn't see it. That was last week, but he got on there and basically said, I will get together with the president, and all Dems will meet with him, and we'll come up with something that really works. But we want to work with the Republicans to put together something that works effectively and efficiently for the American people, so people are insured. That's a nice thing, and that is smart business for the American people. That's the right business. I think most Americans, if they were asked if they want their senators to actually get work done, I think they would say yes. The anger, the frustration with people who voted for Donald Trump, this was because they saw so much inaction and attention in Washington that's been happening for a long time, and the bureaucrats holding things up, holding progress up, and these social agendas that have been the preoccupation of the left, really substantive issues like the VA, like building up the military, like fixing the economy, like paying down our debt, fixing infrastructure, energy, all of these really pivotal issues that are so important and fundamental to the success of this country. I mean, is the Republicans the only party of ideas? It seems like it. Seems like that at the poll, it's the only one that has any ideas that make sense. And if the Dems had any sense left, they would be proposing these particular things to the president. They would actually be working on the holidays, getting together, saying, how could we make this country terrific? How could we ensure another 241 years of this country? There is threats, foreign and abroad. We need to be tightening up our military. We need to cut spending where it's irrational. But instead, they write checks that we don't have. And they want to continue doing the entitlements to people that don't deserve them and don't need them. Overspending. Because the lack of oversight and accountability for these particular things, because they don't want to lose out on their key people, their folks who vote for them and keep them in office time and time again. They would rather have crime in their neighborhoods, violence that we see in just terrible proportions in Chicago and Los Angeles and Baltimore. They would rather have Ferguson. There were all these terrible things that happen than being able to put together plans for their communities, then come up with legislation that actually keeps them ingrained and keeps them in tow. Because these are conservative ideas. These are conservative ideals. They can't have it. They don't want oversight. They don't want accountability. And the reason being is because it calls into front and center their action and inability to be able to fix the things and get these things done because they know they're not doing anything. They're just filling time. And that's why Donald Trump says the swamp has to be drained. Did you see the picture of Chris Christie? I had to mention this because it's out there. And Chris Christie, he helped Donald Trump immensely. But there was a picture that's kind of I got you kind of a picture, beach in New Jersey. Now there's a governor's mansion that's on the beach in New Jersey, but this beach in New Jersey is closed. It's closed because they don't have the funding for lifeguards. They can't keep up with the maintenance. There's nobody picking up the trash, but the Christies are on this beach that's closed down. It's a public beach, but it's closed down because they just can't operate it because of funding. And Chris Christie says that the Dems haven't been able to, come up with anything, and that's why. But now there's a picture that's outraging people that shows that Chris Christie's family enjoying this. Chris Christie, pretty much his reaction was, look, if you'd like to enjoy some time on this beach that, is not a private beach, but at the time it is, win the governor's office, and then you too can actually vacation on the beach itself. Now, I can understand how that could stir some people up. They'd love to spend time on the beach. But seriously, they have to blame the Democrats because they can't pass spending in the state, which is, liberal to begin with. I mean, to get a Republican governor in there, man, the hell that he has to put up with. Well, they're having a field day with this picture. You'll see Chris Christie. And then I don't know why they came back with this basically saying that Chris Christie didn't get any raise. It's Chris Christie himself said that he didn't have any raise. You'll see this picture all over the internet because he's wearing this hat or whatever, keeping the raise off him. But the rest of his body's getting some raise. So that was kind of a dumb